Hi there and welcome to another Sonic Academy tutorial. This one we're going to try a slightly different format. In previous tutorials when we're sort of building tracks, I only really get the opportunity to add sort of a couple of lead sounds. And in this series I'm going to be just creating a whole bunch of sounds that are found in a particular genre. In this genre I'm going to be looking at sort of psytrance and goa trance. So for example, in the previous trance tutorial or some of the house tutorials, I only ever get the opportunity to add one lead sound, and that's the only sound you get for the whole arrangement. So I thought that was a bit limiting. And with psytrance, there's so many different variations and cool sort of sounds that are in there. I thought I'd just go through and sort of program up a load of different sounds that you can use in your tunes. So I won't be doing any arrangement because the arrangement's very similar to sort of standard trance, but it's really the sounds that sort of make the difference. So we're going to start off. I've got a couple of kicks that I've got. We're just going to make a sort of basic kick and bass pattern. So I'm going to load in a simpler for the bass. And we have a sample here, and this is the Yamaha TX81Z Lately bass, and this is an incredibly popular sample for psytrance basses. I'll fire it in here and you can hear what it sounds like. So you'll have probably heard that already in loads of sort of 90s stuff as well as sort of psytrance. And then what we're going to do is throw a drum rack in and just get our kick drums in. I've made a couple of kicks, just sort of combining two kicks. A sort of basic sort of kick and a sort of a thippy kick. A lot of goa trance has that sort of really pitch bend kick knock sound on the front of their kicks. So I created a couple there, and we'll be sort of trying some of them and see how they work. So load them sample into drum racks. Just going to extend the notes out and get rid of that. And we get rid of that. And you can sort of hear the thippy quality at the start of that sample. And I have a few more of those. And we'll try a couple of different ones in, see which one sounds the best. So we'll just duplicate the notes. And we can solo which one we want. That first one's probably the best. So we've got our bass sound, and the bass pattern in psytrance is pretty standard. It's basically just a series of notes. We're going to shorten the notes to 30 seconds or just a bit bigger. And then we'll extend the release. And then what we need to do is add a bit of sidechain from the kick to the bass, so you get that sort of pumping vibe. And then what we can do is play about with the bass and sort of get it in a nice tune with the kick drum. And what I tend to do is just select everything and move them up and down in the notes. Just try and find the sweet spot of the sample. I think about there sounds the best. Got a nice bit of bottom end, but you're also getting this sort of attack at the top. And what you can also do then is duplicate that up a full octave. I can give you a nice vibe. Put velocity on. We can control the volume of those top notes. And gives you a nice sound. And then we can add a filter. And turn the filter envelope on as well. And you can see you can get a nice variation in different sounds. And you can play about with this sidechain as well to sort of determine how sort of dramatic you want that sort of pumping effect. And I'm just going to add a bit of compression to the kick as well, just to make it a bit tougher. Maybe a bit of EQ. Just want to bring out sort of some of the different hits in it. Just really sort of bringing out a wee bit of the bottom end and some of that nice knock on top. And that's the sort of pattern you would use for most of the Go trance stuff. You can add variations by just changing some of the notes. So we can go down 2, always sounds nice. And you can also go up 1, and going up 1 is sort of a slightly dissonant note, and it gives you that sort of dark vibe. And then you can go up 3 as well. So they're the sort of 3 notes that we're going to be playing with, and a lot of the different riffs and a lot of the different sounds is down 2, up 3, and up 1. So that's it for the kick and the bass. In the next video, we're going to be looking at adding some acids.